The first thing we're focusing on this week in our focus is round-off rebound back extension. There's several problems that are happening with both groups literally on this skill. The first thing is in the round-off, they need to get their arms up tight by their ears. Their arms need to be here. A lot of them are practicing all kinds of procedures where their round-offs are down here. So we need to really have focus on it being precise and their arms being tight by their ears in their round-off. Second thing, and we're going to show you some demonstrations of this, is when they're rebounding, they're either landing and jumping or they're rebounding and going to an arched body position. We need to stay tight and hollow in that rebound. And finally, we're going to talk about some things with the back extension, how they're opening. Most of our girls are trying to use their arms and legs to get up in their back extension. That is not going to work, and they need to be using their body extension and open to create the power to get to handstand. Okay, here Allison is demonstrating 3 jumps. The arch jump, which we see a lot of the girls doing when they're trying to rebound, their body is arching. A straight jump, and now a hollow body jump. When they rebound, we want them to be in the hollow body position. Working on the back extension, a lot of our girls are trying to get to the handstand by pushing through their legs and arms. They are not strong enough to do it that way, nor is that proper technique. The thing we are trying to focus on is extending or opening the body to create force. So when Allison does this, she's here and it's this opening the body up that drives her force to handstand. The body opening, not the pushing through the arms or extension of the legs that create the handstand. Here she goes to handstand. Powerful extension, open, lifts her up. Now doing it in the tuck position is similar, but a little bit confusing to girls. Being in the tuck makes it easier because your body length is shorter. But it's, again, here, it's from this, and it's opening the body that makes the extension happen. Also, it's very important that the girls know where their legs are kicking to. She is not kicking her feet to here. She is kicking her feet to over her hands to this position as she opens her body. So she comes and extends the body, which is going to create the power to lift her up. And here she goes, kicking and extending up to handstand. Make sure that when you're working this with your girls, that you're working and they understand the extension of the body to get to handstand, not the pushing through the arms. We're having other problems with the girls' leap series. A couple things that are happening. 1, they're not performing it. 2, they're more worried about covering half the distance of the floor than performing the leaps well. This is not a long traveling series. It is a get up off the ground and show a split. So a drill that we can do to help them on their leap series and actually perform it is de-emphasize the distance that they're traveling. So mark the floor and make them do this leap series in a shorter distance. Another drill that you can do is have them do this drill that Allison's going to do. Split jump, step, fouette. There they're going to work on getting the split and being in proper position and not covering any distance. When you put all that together, you should get a shorter leap series that has better execution. That's our goal. The theme for this week could be connections. A lot of our girls are not getting credit and losing a lot of points in their routines. Go ahead, Allison. For not connecting parts of their beam routine or bar routine or floor routine. In this example, Allison is showing the half turn, pivot turn. And this is almost a 3-point deduction if they leave this out or don't do it correctly. It's a very important part of the routine that our girls are not giving enough attention to. Whoops. We talked about watching the videos this week. I think they really need to look at the videos and make sure that they are going in proper tempo and proper technique in the skills that they're doing and connecting these skills. The next connection or skills that we want to talk about is high kicks and the cartwheel. First of all, with the cartwheel, girls have got to get their feet on the beam. Even if they fall, just like Allison demonstrated, they are getting more credit for the skill if they get their feet on first. The high kick, the girls are being very lackadaisical with these and either not getting credit for them or they're just not showing amplitude. We need to teach that this is a part of the routine that shows amplitude. That high kick should come all the way up, close to their face, and they have got to get both feet on the beam. Find a way for them to figure out how to touch that beam with both their feet, whether they stay on or not. The next thing we need to talk about for compulsory fours is the middle circle and front hip circle. We've shown you all the drills. If you're not familiar with those, go back and look at what the drills are for those two skills. The main thing I think is the girls have to decide that it's now time for them to do the skill. They are relying way too much on the coach's help. Will you help me? Are you there for me? Do you have me? Are you going to catch me? And they need to start performing and doing this skill. They need to realize they don't get these skills, they don't advance in this event or in this level, from this level. They have got to get these skills. Less coach, help, and support, more focus on technique, getting the legs to rise up in the back for the front hip circle, getting that foot to step forward on the middle circle, and the girls have got to figure out how to get it done on their own. This is a drill for working your straddle up to handstand. To get them to understand the straddle, they lay on this, and they are in a handstand. Their legs should stay flat and low. They should finish in a hollow. So her legs should not hit the mat before she finishes. But this is working on her understanding the position her legs and hips go through in straddling up to handstand. That's the motion that she would do. The next phase for the straddle up to handstand is to do the same compressed straddle with their hips against the wall. Over at the mirror, they had to keep their straddle low and they learned the position their hips should go to, and their legs couldn't pass through a pike. It had to stay wide and go through the straddle. Now we're continuing that motion here against the wall. Allison's close to the wall. She straddles up, comes to handstand. She has to straddle and then come down. She's creating that rotation and getting her body over her shoulders before her legs go up. Too many of our girls are trying to pike up and then create a straddle. This will help them with their straddle to handstand. The third drill for the straddle up to handstand is doing it with these obstacles. Okay? The girls are squatted before these mats. They have to push over their shoulders and go before hitting the mats. That's exactly what you're going to see the girls doing because they are not getting their hips over their shoulders and going through the proper straddle position like we just did. Now Allison adds the roll. And then she's going to add one where she tries to generate more speed. Another thing that will help the girls is if in their roll they generate more speed going into the handstand. So even if they have a bad straddle, their speed of their roll helps carry them through the straddle up to handstand. Just like with the compulsory fours, here's the drill for compulsory fives to work on their tergite. Split jump, step tergite. Too many of the girls, go ahead Allison, too many of the girls are traveling too far a distance and trying to make this skill move forward. A tergite should be an up and down skill, not a forward moving skill. They will not have success if they are moving forward. Allison also does this on the line, so she is kicking, go again. So she is kicking forward, turning and landing, then in relationship to that line. The drill for kips and bars for compulsory fives is a stem kip drill. With a standing on a block, Allison works on pushing off and getting to a front support position. She's really working on being hollow and getting over the bar, keeping her arms straight. To make this harder, she'll then go to one foot. One leg's up by the bar, and she pushes off one leg and works on finishing over the bar. Then, if you're doing that, you've got to do the other side to make it even. This is the stem kip drill. Okay, the next thing we need to talk about is the squat on. And believe it or not, the kip is not the only skill in the compulsory 5 bar routine. So we need to give some focus on the other skills and the connection and the body positions. Casting in the compulsory 5s is absolutely ridiculous. They're not holding a good body position, they're not getting cast to horizontal, and they look horrid. So we need to give some focus to the basics. Here on the squat on, they need to make sure that they are moving to the high bar, that their hips are moving forward. Too many of the girls are casting and trying to put their feet to the bar, pushing them back. They need to be moving over the bar and going down. Allison's going to squat over the bar, jumping and landing on the floor here. I didn't tell her she was doing that. Squat over. Do a squat over and land down here. Yes. Okay, that's actually a squat on. Now don't touch your feet to the bar, just squat over. Good. And they can take their hands off even sooner to keep moving forward. Now Allison's going to go and do the whole thing where she squats on, jumps to the high bar, but the whole time her hips moving forward. Did you notice we didn't prep that one? We gave a lot of drills, excuse me, for the end of the compulsory 5, go ahead, Allison, of the compulsory 5 bar routine. And either the coaches have not been doing them or they have not been doing them enough. Because this swing and lift in the back, go ahead and do it again, Allison, and the tight body and the body positions in this turn, touching the bar with the other hand and dismount is not looking correct or proficient enough for our compulsory 5s. We need to spend a lot more time in this being good. Tight body, lifting, tap, turn, land. These drills need to be worked more. If you aren't familiar or remember the drills for this, go back and review previous focus.